We are live now. We are back for the panel discussion on fundraising versus investment challenges for crypto and DeFi startups. So we have panelists. They will be introducing themselves, but before that, I'd like to just say their names. We have Jagdish Pandya he is the founder, Blockchain Capital. We have Tushar Kansal, founder, Kansaltancy Ventures. We have Malcolm Tan, Chief Strategic Advisor, Technicorum Holdings. We have Felix Mago. He is the co-founder, Dash Next. Then we have Marinello Andaloro. She is President, Billion Team Enterprise. She represents family offices. We have Eddie Trabia from Hong Kong, CEO, Consilium Group. He is the moderator. He will be moderating the entire session. The entire session will take out. Thank you. Let's start with, go ahead, Eddie. You can ask everyone to introduce. You can start the session. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So yes, let's. I will give a few minutes for each panelist to introduce themselves. So let's start with Jagdish Pandya, please. You can introduce yourself, and then we move on to the next panelist.
My name is Jagdish Pandya. You can call me JP. Blockchain Capital and a couple of other companies in Malaysia, Thailand, US, and UAE, and of course in India we have Blockchain IT services. Blockchain is a 7-year-old crypto company, and we are into three verticals: innovation, acceleration, and innovation. In incubation, we have partnered with Khazana, which is Malaysia's national sovereign fund, fully on subsidiary called IIB. We have set up Center of Excellence for Blockchain Emerging Technology in Malaysia, and we are empowering blockchain village, which is Asia's version of Crypto Valley. Apart from that, we are very active in Indian space, and many of our fellow panelists are part of our videos. We can panelists which include BlockFly Asia, iBlockchain Risk, and Malaysia Blockchain Risk. Thank you, Rajan, for having me here, and happy to be here.
Thank you. Can I ask the panelists who don't speak to turn off their mic so that we have a full bandwidth for the people speaking, because it's a little bit low volume for me. Let's continue with Tushar Kansal, please. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Eddie. I am a investor, and I also assist investments into equities through my company Kansaltancy Ventures. I also manage an angel fund called Saffron First. In my 20-year-old experience in corporate finance, I've worked for companies like Deloitte and Touche, in Brand Capital, which is Times of India's fund here in India, and also handled debt at Systema's India unit, and also worked as CFO for Distribution Logistics, which is a company owned by Guggenheim Partners. In Consultancy Ventures, we do primarily equity investments, stock investments, as well as handle debt and mergers and acquisitions. And in Saffron First, we invest up to $1 million in startups, mostly tech.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Marinella Andaloro, please, could you introduce yourself?
Yes. We have an investment management company. We are based in Hong Kong and in Dubai. We started the license is investment management, but it's a family office because we invest and manage on behalf of prestigious clients that are royal family in the GCC area. I come in this world of crypto just because I had some requests in 2012 for diversification of investments. So I started to study Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. And then I start to go in the blockchain. And
Eddie has got some connection problem, I guess. So maybe she will join later. I will try to fix her.
Okay. I can hear. Okay, I can hear. Thank you.
Thank you to you.
Hi, Felix. Thank you. Hi, Felix.
Hi, everyone.
Mago just joined from DashNext. Please kindly briefly introduce yourself.
Thank you. This ain't on blockchain, so I'm struggling to connect for 1 hour. Sorry, guys. Finally here.
They both have
my name is Felix.
connection problems. It goes
Yeah,
on.
perfect. Finally. And good everything.
I can hear.
We say in German. So I'm Felix from DashNext, co-founder of DashNext. DashNext is one entity within the Dash network. Dash stands for digital cash. So we really care about crypto adoption, driving crypto out of only trading to spending as well. And I'm essentially running all the operations here in Asia. We focus on business development, on partnerships, on marketing. And as my previous speakers have perfectly elaborated on already, the move into DeFi is there this year. Blockchain is coming together. Products are working, which makes me super excited and super happy. And we are right now moving a lot into the DeFi space. So I'm right now very focused on building a bridge.
They are here, but they are not able to connect.
No, I can hear Felix fine. Yeah, we can hear him.
Felix?
Yes, I can hear.
Yeah, we can hear him. We can hear him. Yeah.
Okay, so I hope everybody could hear me. Again, I'm very focused on the DeFi space right now. Building a wrapped asset is our plan. And with that, mute yourself. Maybe it's you have the background noises. Anyhow, keep it short. I'm super excited to be here with you, and yeah, let's discuss where blockchain is going.
Okay, thank you. Malcolm, you have done a couple of presentations, so I think people who are in this watching this should know you. But in a minute, maybe you just can give a word about yourself, please.
Okay, sure. Thanks very much, Eddie. I got into the crypto space 3 years ago. I've been a serial entrepreneur, so I've founded and sold some. Started some 30 plus companies, and right now I'm very much focused in the crypto space, blockchain space. So we've been focused very much on the advisory angle for the last 3 years. We've worked on over 80 projects, I think closer to 100 right now. And right now, as with a lot of the participants here, I'm very focused on the DeFi space. So I'm the Chief Strategic Advisor for Technicorum Holdings, which is a digital asset holding group with many verticals. And one of the most important projects that we are focusing on right now is called KingSwap, which is a DeFi plus NFT project. Right. Happy to be here.
Okay, great. Okay, since we are a good number of people, I will ask questions, but we won't have a chance for everyone to answer each question. I think the first one, we are at the end of this kind of crazy year of 2020, which has affected a lot of our plans and affected a lot of the businesses and lives around the world. So I think the first question I'm going to put out there would be how it has affected your business and how it has affected your operations, negatively or sometimes maybe positively. Who would like to answer this question in the panel first?
I'll start if that is fine.
Yes.
Yeah. So COVID has accelerated the march of technology, which has been accelerating since .com boom and then 2008 bust, and now with COVID, I've seen instances where people have been forced to adopt technology, and after adoption, they have only realized how easy and how good it is when the right technology is there to assist everyday things. I mean, we have seen companies which would never had imagined allowing work from home. We have seen schools which were so conservative as to allow online classes. And for me, this year has been a year which has defined the march of technology. On the crypto front, it has been maddening. I always believe I'm kind of a bear for the crypto market, and I'm sorry to be on this panel at a stage when crypto is breaking boundaries, to be a kind of a beer, because I always believe that it has replaced gold as an asset class. But my belief is that gold has a practical use in families and places, and crypto still has not many use cases. But still, I reserve my judgment for because the use of NFT and DeFi has definitely led a lot of ease of and simplification of financial products, which makes me optimistic on this space.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, anyone else has had an experience which has with basically how the pandemic has really affected their business or the way they've approached the space this year that I would like to share?
Yep.
Yeah,
So
Malcolm?
right, let me jump in. Thank you, Eddie. So this year actually has been quite interesting. The last 2 years I've been traveling, I would say 60 to 75% of the time. I see Felix all over the world. Yeah, so this year, no need to travel, right? Since January, all my travel plans were cancelled. So many events were cancelled. But it was good. I think for us in the digital space, I'm very thankful that all my traditional businesses were already shutting down mode or sold. So this year didn't impact me that way. But our digital business and the licensing business in Singapore, of course, has boomed. We've grown a lot in terms of client bases, because now you can just sit in front of the screen the whole day and attend conferences through webinar. No need to travel. A lot more time actually at the desktop, actually interacting with the clients directly without having to spend all the networking time. So it's a good and a bad. To us, the digitization, adoption of digital technologies has grown our business because our group is focused on that. The bad is that there's not so much FaceTime, there's not so much networking, no time to build on new relationships. But a lot of the old relationships are still there because we've already built the bonds from the past. And that's where a lot of a repeat business or introductions from friends around the world that I've met over the last few years has come by. So to us, it was actually a positive impact of this COVID situation.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I mean, it has also been for me a very strange year without all these meetups and these events where also we usually see each other around Asia and around the world.
The same from here. It's because
yes.
I travel all around the world. Usually, I do at least 2 times for month to travel to do speaker around the world. But this year it wasn't this way, and also about the investment side, about family office, it's very difficult because this work is in high confidentiality. So when you have to meet people in person, they don't speak about money by phone or by virtual meeting. So they put in the standby, waiting. Just they want to analyze projects that they will speak about the financial when it will be possible. Speak face by face. This is the effect that we had. So now we are fixing the technical side, and after we will fix the financial side.
Okay, thank you, Marinella. Yes, David. Before I move to you, I just want to ask Marinella to mute your mic while the other panelists are speaking. Thank you. Jagdish, yes, please. Please go ahead and take the
Eddie.
the panel.
On this event has been affected. We haven't been able to do Thai blockchain week, Malaysia blockchain week, and even a single event in Singapore. In past 3 years, we have done 75 events and have been attended by 20,000 plus attendees, 1,500 plus people, 500 plus sponsors. So event critical at our company has been affected, but innovation is unstoppable. During this COVID time, also the entire DeFi industry has grown up, which I believe is new movement that is pumping oxygen into the crypto market. and of course investment, which is also non-stoppable. After I started, this webinar, I just got the news that CoinDCX, the Indian second largest exchange, has raised $13.5 million. Today it's like 100 crore rupees in Indian rupee, and that too in the market which is not regulated. You imagine the investor confidence of investor pumping in money into the market where cryptocurrency was banned one day, and then we won the case in RBI. Same thing is happening in other parts of the world, like Thailand BitHub has been funded. If you see Malaysia, a lot of crypto startups are getting funded. So I believe that COVID-19 has not affected our industry much, and we are here to stay.
So is there anyone in the panel that has raised funds in the last months or during 2020? Yes.
Go ahead, Malcolm.
Yes.
Right. So like I mentioned, the biggest project we are working on right now is KingSwap. So the fundraising was amazingly fast and easy. So actually everything happened within like 1 week. So when we first started this project, the co-founders came to me, came to our Technicorum group, and said that they had this idea, they wanted to start this. So we helped with the formation of the team, brought in the advisors, and then started talking to some of the contacts. We have a very stellar group of advisors. It's headlined by Michael Turpin from Transform Group. I think practically everyone in the crypto world knows who he is, and many billionaires owe him their billions because of his PR and marketing. So once he jumped in, he started introducing us to a lot of VCs as well, and he himself also brought in Transform Group and his own personal investments that helped us to hit our targets very fast. And then brought in Alex Nascimento, Professor Alex Nascimento. He's a UCLA professor. He's also running a VC, a 7cc. They also invested in us. And then two other American VCs, Tradecraft, which is a small US VC that I met in January this year, before the COVID situation shut everything down. I met them in Tulum, Mexico. Once they heard about the project, they immediately said yes. And another VC that invested was Alpha Sigma Capital. This is Enzo. I met him at various conferences around the world as well. So when he heard about it, he was very interested. And then in the East, we had Plutus Capital, who assisted us as well. And Plutus is very heavily investing in DeFi space. They are pushing MantraDAO and Real DeFi, two very prominent DeFi projects as well. They are also partners with KingSwap. So when all these VCs came in, and of course within our Technicorum group, we also have a Hash Street VC. So we also invested our own funds into this project. So we managed to get over 20 million USD commitments and seed investments, equity investments, and liquidity provision within a week. Right, so we were able to do it, I think, right at the height of the DeFi craze, right, just after the SushiSwap and Uniswap sagas. So billions and billions came into the space. A lot of people were looking for the next big project. So that was a happy coincidence of, at the same time, the whole crypto market going up, at the same time, DeFi space going up, and a lot of the institutional interest coming in.
So good timing. Yeah, timing is always very, very important. Felix, did you want to add something in that? Yes, please.
Yes, thank you. But my feeling is what I mentioned before. The first thing is I feel 2020 is a year where a lot of crypto products are finally working. And let's be honest, the biggest use case in crypto has always been anything around financials and anything that makes you money. I heard Malcolm talking before, and we are more than 10 years in now talking about putting water, love, or games on the blockchain, and so far it hasn't taken off. And there's many reasons for it. If you just look at the health sector or something, it's always you have to bring together a lot of actors to make something work. Where all this always worked very, very fast is everything money, meaning exchanges, perpetual swaps, lending, borrowing, name it. And now we're in a situation where all this stuff comes together under the roof we call DeFi. And this is my impression why things are taking off. So in other words, there is not a shortage of money in the world. Even we have a crisis, and even though many people suffering. I said before, I'm in Thailand, so obviously in this tourist-driven country, you see a lot of shops that have been closed during COVID. Like namely, if you go, for example, to Pattaya, I would say 2/3 of the shops by now are kind of gone, and you don't know, if they ever will come back. But in blockchain, it's different, and money goes where I always say where it makes the most babies, and it goes there very, very fast. So I don't feel we have a shortage. It's a matter of what product can
Felix
people.
lost the connection there.
Can you hear me again?
No, it's okay. Yeah,
No?
I can hear you. It's all right.
Okay, that's weird.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so again, my point is money goes always where it can grow, and in DeFi it can grow very fast. And the funny thing is that actually it sets expectation where everything that does not give you 20 to 8% or 5,000% APR is kind of a boring investment. So for me, the question is rather, where is this still a business model that makes sense, or where is it just complete BS and a scammy value proposition?
So thank you, Felix, for that. So now that we talked about 2020, and for some of the members of the panel, like Malcolm, was a good year in terms of raising funds for his project. And good timing. Let's talk a bit about 2021 and what's coming up in the year ahead, to see what you think could be the challenges or could be the opportunities that we see in 2021. Who wants to start off on that topic? Jagdish, yes, please.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
So I think that there is a lot of lessons to be learned from late entrants, and these are corporate like Facebook or JP Morgan or PayPal. Even IMS also has created a neutral record for crypto investment. So we have seen Square or MicroStrategy kind of organizations coming in picture. So one definite thing I am seeing forward is a lot of corporate and institutional investment coming into our industry. A lot of traditional giants will venture into this thing. And the second thing I see is CBDC, like Project Human in Singapore is in the implementation stage. Couple of other governments supporting our industry. I see with these two things happening, the third thing would be the regulation in the countries where it has not came in stage now. So with better regulation, government taking participation with CBDC, and those late entrants, I will repeat that, but so many people are still not on crypto, they will enter, and 2021 is going to be an year to be watched in our space. It's very futuristic.
Okay. Yes, I agree. Regulation is important. Yes, Tushar, please go ahead. Yes.
So I see this liquidity sloshing around the global economy, basically arising because of money printing by central bankers right from US, Europe, Japan, and I mean we talk about $3 trillion of liquidity which was released by the US after COVID, and only yesterday another 900 billion coming in. So I don't see that the global economy will ever be, without this liquidity. And once the vaccine shots get administered and things get a little bit better, I feel that that the bullishness in cryptos is here to stay, and we might be talking about $100,000 Bitcoin. So it is here to stay, but volatility will always be there because there is still some standardization and some more processes which need to be put up, and also the Bitcoin as an asset class always competes with other asset classes. So with the fundamentals of the other asset classes, there would always be a comparison. So, that's my take for 2021.
Thank you. And for those among the panelists, yes, Felix, just before you share with us what you think for 2021, if those of you who are advising entrepreneurs, just to add a bit of what are you advising entrepreneurs for the year to come? But please go ahead and make your point, Felix, please.
The advice, I think, is always the same. Do business that gets customers and that is a business, that earns money and that is not only planned to just have a token without a purpose or a fundraising and the moonshot that quickly goes up and then goes down. So this is my advice for any business. And I think that hasn't changed in the last 10 years. And use blockchain to leverage your business, not use blockchain as an end goal to build your business. I think that's always the most important part. But I think it adds what I said before. In 2021, I think most of that DeFi stuff we saw right now will consolidate. Malcolm mentioned before about anonymous projects and difficult regulations. I think this will be still a big challenge. I'm not sure if that will be solved in 2020. I mean, there's good reasons why teams stay anonymous because they have a lot to fear for. And obviously, if I go to lawyers now, they also cannot explain me how to run a decentralized business. But I think it will grow a lot together. There will be a lot of financial products. And I think the easiest and most likely scenario we see is that we just copy the financial market as it is and rebuild these products in a decentralized way. So we will see a lot of synthetics
the
coming
session
up.
was addressed by someone? No.
Say again, please. Rajan, I did not understand.
I think specific questions to specific panelists would be better, I guess, instead of putting the questions on the floor.
Okay, but let me
no problem.
one more sentence. So, what I think is it's really about financial products and about rebuilding the financial infrastructure. Everybody's talking that
Marinella could share a lot of tech investing opportunities from family offices, especially on the crypto side. She could share a lot of insights.
Yeah.
I think that will be where a lot of money will go in. Thank you.
Okay, Felix. Yes.
Yes, you could tell me what is the focus on crypto investment from family offices shaping up?
Okay. Yes, of course, we are more confident for 2021 because we hope that the situation will be better. It will be possible again to travel, so to do more investments because in this year was very difficult to do that. But we are confident, and also my partner and my client, they are ready to start again as it was 1 year ago. And of course in the crypto world and in blockchain project, but the due diligence is very strict in this way, is very rigorous, and so we analyze very well every aspect of the project. For example, we don't accept to invest in simple ICO but in reverse ICO, because one of the characteristics that the feature that they are looking for, that the project has to be Sharia compliant, for example. So we have to analyze very well if the business model that they propose is compliant with our criteria.
Okay.
Thank you for you. I'm sorry, my line is very bad, so I prefer to listen to all of you.
Okay.
Whenever you come up, you can ask questions.
Yeah. Thank you.
Malcolm, have you been advising any specific project as well, in addition to your, of course, your own? But have you been advising other projects these last few months, and some that are maybe coming up next year?
Yes, certainly. We are very heavily involved in licensing for Singapore, as you are aware. So we have helped about 10 projects to apply for licenses. We are in constant touch with all these clients. All of them are, what Felix has been saying, all real use cases, real products building up. So the environment today is very different from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where most of them, like I said earlier, were white papers and websites. But now they are real products and real exchanges and real platforms really doing revenues. Like right after this, I'm heading off to a new client's office to talk to them, and they've been in the space for the last 2 to 3 years, and they are doing serious stuff. So they just met with the regulators yesterday. Today we're going to go through what needs to be fixed in their application form. So we have seen a much bigger focus in the scene in Singapore on enterprise level clients. So those who are not just startups, those who are already well funded, who are ready to take the next step, who have identified that blockchain is a great enabler and is a good part or anchor of their digitization efforts. In terms of the fundraising, what Tushar mentioned earlier about the big amount of money that's just going to hit us next year, that I think is a great, very interesting prospect. And to me, it's a very nice confluence of issues. You have the CBDCs coming out. China already ran a pilot, already giving away 10 million free RMB, already had 100 million test cases or something like that. And then we have the stimulus packages. The US, I think, is what, $3 to $4 trillion. That's crazy amounts of money. Europe is giving out free money as well. Singapore is giving out free money as well. So many countries are pumping stimulus packages. The money float in the whole world is crazy right now. And the stock markets are surprisingly resilient. They are all doing very, very well given the very dire economic status of most countries around the world. So the confluence of factors. First, you have the Bitcoin halving. Second, you have the stimulus packages. Thirdly, you have CBDCs. Fourthly, you have a lot of projects from 2 to 3 years ago actually coming back to market and showing real use cases. Like one of those that came back from the dead, to me, surprisingly, was Filecoin. There were so many people saying that it was just a massive scam and they just raised 270 million and disappeared. Right? They really took down the websites, the advisors disappeared, the team members disappeared. But this year they're back, right? They're back and now they're in the top 15, top 20, and they're doing good things. Tezos was in a bad legal battle for the first parts of their existence. They managed to overcome that. Now they are also one of the top 15, top 20 projects. And a lot of the earlier projects that raised tremendous amounts of money, some of them managed to actually apply that very well. And those are the projects that we see are doing very well. So I think next year we'll see more of these consolidations. Exchanges around the world are consolidating. There are more and more M&As. There are less new exchanges coming to the market simply because there's not enough activity to support so many new entrants. But the big boys are getting bigger. Many of them are doing the listings, going public or considering going public. Institutional investors are buying up. Like SBI just bought up B2C2, right? So B2C2 is one of our liquidity providers as well. So that was interesting news. Yeah, so a lot of the old giants, the real whales in the financial space are moving into the crypto space. So they're buying up all these small crypto whales. So now we are seeing a lot of the traditional monies flowing into the system. I think these are all interesting things to look out for in 2021. And 2021 may very well carry on this bull trend that we are seeing right now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Malcolm. But I think there's still a few challenges that as an investor in this space, you have to face and you have to think about. So maybe Jagdish, you want to tell us about some of the challenges that you foresee in the coming months or the coming year? Please unmute yourself.
Well, primary challenges that we see is in the product itself. So if you see blockchain or even some of the DeFi products that are coming up, as first challenge, this is the adoption or acceptance of the real world. And if you see the daily active use of DeFi app, even on ETH or EOS or Tron or IOST, there are less than 5,000 daily active users. So that's the first challenge I see, that adoption of dApps and DeFi thing is the first thing. Second challenge I see while investing is founders are too religious and they care about crypto a lot. I love crypto. I am Bitcoin maximalist. But as a business, like Felix said, that your product has to generate a business and that business has to generate a profit. So when we ask founders, like what's your go-to-market plan or what's your user acquisition strategy, what are your pain points, or why you, or why would a customer switch to you, especially in DeFi, it becomes like something where founders are busy raising funds or completing MVP and going to the market before everyone. It's like a first mover advantage people are taking. But the fundamentals of startup are not that much in existence in the current world. Big challenges. And the last thing is blind faith. As an investor, we have to see that this gamble is the root of venture capitalism, and that you have to gamble. It's usually like principle or a blind faith. So it's harder for traditional investor to get into DeFi. So most of the DeFi investment will come from existing capitalism, and new funds to get into the DeFi would be a challenge. The product with adoption, founders' mindset, which is only on crypto and not about the futuristic balancing or eroding profitable things, will continue. So these are the two things I see.
Yeah. Thank you,
Eddie.
Dedrick. Yes, Tushar? Yes.
Yeah. So I feel that especially in the Asian part of the globe, we are short of dollars. I mean, short in the sense that we are emerging economy, right? I mean, so a lot of countries here are emerging economies. So the inward dollar is most welcome, and outward is sometimes be it China, India, or cryptos, they solve a particular problem, that it is very costly to do cross-border transactions with traditional institutions like banks, with the central bankers, keeping it on the leash. So cryptos solve that fundamental problem because these wallets are so easy to transfer cryptos. The problem comes because an economy like India is also a very high cash economy. We are 12% of the GDP is in cash. So sometimes these instruments are used to bypass traditional channels, and they are prone to uh, terror financing or illegal money flows. So that is one problem which has yet to be addressed. The other problem is volatility. I mean, it is mindless. I mean, mind-boggling volatility. So, I mean, how does an investor uh, use technical analysis or any such ways to actually form an opinion? Because the volatility is always too high. And the third is regulatory. I mean, only a few days back, as Mr. Jagdish said, a group of representatives of the industry here, they met the government and asked the government to come out with regulations, because either you do it or you don't do it. But we are a part of the global system. You can't just sit on the wall. I mean, either you form proper regulations and do it. So we need regulations, and only recently one of the crypto exchanges here got a $14 million funding, Coin DCX. So funding is happening, equity funding is happening in this space, but we are still awaiting challenges to be removed around statutory and regulatory issues.
Yes. So yes, I agree that there are some regulatory challenges, and I also agree that the user adoption is an issue. I mean, the volatility is something. It's an issue that has been really addressed over the years, and I think actually a lot of the DeFi tools that are coming, that are existing now, can help address that. But as you know, volatility is also a money-making opportunity for a lot of crypto traders. So you have both sides. On the real economy, it's a problem if you start, of course, lending and borrowing. But on the crypto side, of course, it's a money-making opportunity. So that's and as Felix was saying earlier, the most let's say successful use case of crypto until now has been financial applications. But yes, regulator has been always important as well.
Can I ask you something?
Yes?
Do you think that the fact that a lot of retail money is getting sidelined and institutional big dollops of cash is coming in cryptos, would it lower the volatility?
In the main cryptocurrencies, eventually it should, but we are dealing with quite new, recent, financial assets and financial products. So I think volatility always comes early on in the life cycle. I mean, Bitcoin is the oldest, but it's only about 10 years old. Basically, it's not yet. And most of the other cryptocurrencies are much younger. So I guess that's bound to happen. So I think on a concluding note, maybe we could have a word from each of the panelists. Marinella, maybe we can start with you, and maybe you can tell us about a bit of your sentiment over the market and what's coming, and if you see any interesting new emerging model that you see that should be of interest. Anything that looking forward 2021 before we close the panel.
I think that we have to be all game changer because we have to expect the unexpected as it's happening in 2020. So the business model that will have more success, it will be the one that will be more impactful for all the community, for all the societies. Because it's a paradigm change now at the economical and cultural level. So we have to look at the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations and to do business models that are impactful for people looking for the sector that can help more. For example, the financial inclusion and also in the healthcare sectors. Mm-hmm. This is what we are looking for at the moment.
Yeah, thank you for reminding us of these important goals. Thank you. Felix, same kind of conclusion note. What are you bullish about or optimistic about, and any kind of business model that you think is going to make a big breakthrough in the year coming?
Yeah, thank you. It's what I said before. I'm super bullish right now in the market. I'm super hyped where we are going. I'm seeing a lot of great stuff coming out. I think there's a lot of...
Felix is silent, I guess, right? He's not able to communicate.
Can you hear me, Eddie?
We can hear him. Achha. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm really excited about be your own bank, having financial products, and again, be your own bank, use them as you like, have bridges between different blockchains, especially the first layer protocols, proving that they still have a fantastic use case by coming together, working together, and yield opportunities for people. So these are the things I'm super hyped about, and I see they will come. Everything else I would be happy to see, like Marinella mentioned, healthcare, financial inclusion. That's all something that, from a crypto or from a human perspective, we want to see that, but I think this is more difficult to pull off, and the other thing is already in the cooking. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Felix. Malcolm, what are you looking forward to, and what kind of sentiment you have? Well, you already mentioned that you're quite bullish as well, but maybe specific areas that you think we should look out for 2021.
Yeah, I think Europe has recently announced a huge funding for 4 key areas of investments. One is AI, another is blockchain, another is healthcare. The fourth category I cannot remember, but I would like to add CBDCs. Whoever is getting involved in CBDCs is coming to Boomtown. So all the governments in the world are going to develop their own CBDCs as well, or outsource this to technology companies. So I think those are great areas to be in. For DeFi, definitely DeFi NFTs. Those are the 2 big topics that we are talking about today. Those have a I think DeFi for me is the next 1 to 2 years at least, and NFTs is at least the next 5 to 20 years, right? So NFTs have a very long way to go, simply because of all the utility that can be attributed to NFTs, and it's not a cyclical thing. It's just going to keep increasing and increasing, right? So I think these are the specific areas. Specific to this panel discussion is fundraising and investment challenges. So I think every field has been very badly hit, except for healthcare and technology in this space.
Mhm.
For next year, I'm going to go out to market and start buying up the traditional businesses again, because I think there's so many good bargains out there.
Good bargains.
By mid next year, I think there'll be a lot of good bargains for traditional businesses. But don't get in now. Now it's still, everyone's still bleeding, right? So that will be the time for 2021.
Thank you for the advice, Malcolm. Jagdish, yes, your view on the kind of to conclude this panel as well among your fellow panelists. So what do you see as what is your sentiment, and what do you see as a emerging model that you would tell us to look for? You're muted, sorry.
Okay, primarily, like, we are not changing our focus much from that. Being based at Blockchain Village in Malaysia, we are helping to enhance the space through innovation. So Islamic finance, which is currently centralized, we are working on a project to decentralize Sharia-compliant Islamic finance, and I'm incubating a project on that. That's the first thing that we are doing. And of course, on the innovation side, we are doing a larger event on innovation in Asia, where we'll be inviting all the innovators like here in the panel and all around the world in the month of April to drive Iskandar as the next destination. That's our plan. Personally, I am working on a DeFi hedge fund where people without a knowledge of any technology, I mean a newcomer or a newbie, can get benefit out of these high yield volumes, because these perks on the DeFi space is amazing. It is very futuristic and it is too big. So raising a small fund for the DeFi hedge fund, that's what is on our plan.
Great, thank you very much. Looking forward to this event that you mentioned as well. Tushar, to conclude, I leave you the conclusion words as well around, yes, your sentiment for 2021 in this space, or in general, if you want to talk about macro as well, no problem. And any specific advice or models that you look at.
So, whenever we are touching new highs on any market, there is a tendency to be very hyper and gung-ho. And so we are talking about 100,000 Bitcoin and stuff. But I would still advise to watch out for black swan events. Like recently was hearing some Chinese government companies have defaulted on debt. And then the new strain of virus at UK. I mean, that's quite something. So this virus might mutate and render a lot of vaccines useless. I mean, so that is a scenario also to consider. But having said that, the long-term theme since 2008 on a macro basis has been to keep asset classes high. And because it leads to job creation, and jobs are pretty sensitive to any kind of destruction in asset prices. And the governments, unemployment can change governments, and that's how I see the future. But of course, there are other red flags like the debt to GDP ratio in China has crossed 350%. So, China's currency is not a reserve currency. So whether they have more stake in special drawing rights of IMF, or they can do currency swaps with Russia and Iran, $400 billion. And so, they are trying to dethrone the petrodollar. But end of the day, Saudis are very much aligned with US. So petrodollar is here to stay. And, another red flag could be that oil itself is under threat, because the kind of capacity which is being created by electric means of transportation, and also solar. I mean, we are talking about China putting up enough solar capacity in the entire year, which takes many years for other countries to put up. So those are some kinds of things which I would worry about. But till the time the going is good, enjoy. Keep on putting money in cryptos. We are talking about $100,000. There would be a FOMO, fear of missing out. So a lot of people will hop on the bandwagon, keep on putting in money, and with more and more institutional money coming in, the times are good, and make the money till it lasts. I mean, enjoy, man.
Okay, I think also in the context that you mentioned, some people, I mean, not all of them, of course, but some people are actually buying crypto in a way to hedge against some of the risk that you're talking about. so there is a bit of a convergence there in terms of some of the risk that you have mentioned at the macro level, and the people who are investing in Bitcoin instead of gold, for example, or other assets.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
As an asset class, sorry to interrupt you there, but you are absolutely right.
That's fine. Yep. Thank you, Tushar, and thank you all the panelists. I let you continue the event, and or the host, Mr. Rajan, you can conclude for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for the great insights about the futuristic market opportunities in the crypto 2021. Final one question to the floor. What are the fundraising opportunities available? Is the ICO dead, or IUO exchanges are open, or through DeFi protocol we can raise fund? What are the opportunities finally? Jack, you could take up ICO side.
ICOs have gone to graveyard. Like, I don't even remember the last ICO has raised the money. So definitely ICOs are nodding, but IOs, STOs, and IDXOs, when initial decentralized exchange offerings like Malcolm has successfully raised a large amount of fund, is quite possible. So ICOs, I don't see any opportunity.
So Malcolm, where you're betting on raising fund? Which mode?
Within our Technicorum group, we are developing two platforms. We've actually been doing these manually, but now the technology platforms will be completed by this year. So one of them is called the Tech Launcher, and the other is called techdefi.com. So both of these are basically crowdfunding sites or ICO launch pads. So the Tech Launcher will be ICO Launchpad. Like JP said, probably the take-up rate of this will not be as high, but the Tech DeFi side, I think, will be very high. It's basically the same technology, but focused on different fields. So I think for DeFi projects, fundraising opportunity is great. In fact, a lot of them are very small cap at the start, so it's much easier for investors to come in and see very large upside. I don't think you'll see these ICOs and DeFi projects raising like 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. That's not going to happen anymore. But they can very easily follow the same route like Yearn Finance. It started at zero and they hit like $44,000. That's crazy, right? These kinds of financial modeling will be possible. Yep.
Thank you. Marinella, what do you see the funding opportunities? What kind of funding you'll be doing it?
I think that as Mr. Tushar say before, that the FOMO will affect everyone. So many people will enter in the crypto space just for this, and also not individual but institutional will come inside and invest. That will be the wall that will come. Already they come before, but they will come more in this year, because it's happening the incredible. Despite the year was very bad for everyone, but for the crypto space it was incredible this year. So many people will come.
Tushar, what do you take? The Bitcoin is booming. So what is the funding opportunity?
Sir, I
And
remember.
also my partner they are ready in January to take some space in this world.
So, Rajan sir, I saw a recent report. I mean, there was a UK company, Ruffler. It had put in $550 million in Bitcoin. I mean, so when that kind of money starts coming with the force. I mean, we are talking about whale accounts, and so never fight the macro. That's the biggest lesson of being in the financial world since 20 years. And never fight the macro. The force of that macro is pretty strong. All I just think is that maybe one needs to watch out for the red flags and the black swan events.
Okay. So thanks. I think we are the right time. We are slightly off 15 minutes. Fine, no problems. Thanks all the panelists for taking your time to come here, make your insights quite knowledgeable for the audience. We will be streaming the entire videos, in our network. More than 100,000 people are there in our LinkedIn network across different networks. We'll be streaming, so we'll have a great viewership of that. And Eddie, thanks for moderating the session.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks
Mr.
all of
Rajan.
you.
Thank
So
you.
look
Thank you,
forward to
Madam.
the future.
Thank you, Felix. Thank you, Adela.
We have the next section
Thanks all.
happening in
Bye-bye.
the next 2 hours, which is for the GCC MENA region, Africa. I think Marinella is there. Malcolm is here. Tushar is here.
Okay. See you.
Thanks so
Thank
much,
you.
all of you. Thanks.
Okay. All the
Wish
best
you in advance.
later.
Happy New Year
Bye.
2021.
Bye. Bye.
Look forward a bright New Year for all of you. Thank you.